Hello and welcome back to From Agenda to Action, where we help you walk into a city council meeting already knowing what's going on. I'm Bill Gebhart with the City of Ames, and today we're taking a look ahead at the next council meeting coming up on Tuesday, April 14th at 6 p.m. There are a lot of items on the agenda, so we'll focus on a few key topics to give you a sense of what's being discussed and why it matters. And as always, we've got Mayor John Haila with us to help break it all down. Mayor, good to have you back.
Glad to be here, Bill.
And so I did mention that the city council meeting is starting at 6 p.m., but there's actually another meeting at 5:30 p.m., right? Can you tell us about that one?
Certainly. The city assessor is overseen by a conference board, which is made up of any governmental entity that receives funding through property taxes. And so the council sits on that, supervisors, and a couple of school districts that are affected by that. So we meet at 5:30 to hear public input on her budget for the coming year, as well as some other business items. So as you indicated, it starts at 5:30 and should wrap up before 6 o'clock.
And then the council meeting then does start at 6 o'clock. It won't start early if the conference board gets done early.
That's correct. Or if the conference board goes a little long, the council meeting will follow approximately 5 minutes after the conference board.
Take a quick break and go. So showing up at 6, you will still be here for city council.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this agenda. First thing I noticed on the agenda is there are some proclamations. So first, can you just tell us what a proclamation is? Because we have 4 of them coming up this week.
Correct. Sometimes we have no proclamations. Sometimes we have 1 or 2. This time we have 4, and they really are an opportunity to draw attention to items that are going on in our community that benefit the overall Ames community and are typically not focused on one particular organization, although there are some exceptions. So, for example, we have Week of the Young Child, National Library Week, National Volunteer Week, and Fair Housing Month. So it's pretty much just a chance to celebrate, bring to the community's attention what's going on, why it's being proclaimed, and also when it's going to be occurring.
Yeah, and so those happen right at the top of the meeting, right after the call to order, and then those usually these ones there's 4 of them, so it'll actually go for a little bit more than 5 minutes usually, right?
Correct. Yeah, and then also gives the opportunity for the proclamation recipient to offer a few comments regarding the topic at hand, and also sometimes they want to get photos taken to use on social media or to promote their specific event or item that's being celebrated.
Yep. And then so after the proclamations, that's when we kind of head into the regular business of the meeting, right? So what are some of the agenda items that we want to look forward to?
Well, first on the agenda would be under planning and housing, as we have a review of the planning division's work plan now. Council does refer a lot of items to planning and housing. They also have other aspects of work that come in that council may not be directly involved with, but we're going to be looking at what they have on their plate to be doing, and that gives the council an opportunity to give direction if there's any kind of a reorientation, reprioritizing of any items. Typically, planning does a very good job of getting them prioritized, knowing on what kind of timelines. For example, a development or making changes to an ordinance, or, for example, we're going to be doing some changes to some of our ordinances that planning is involved with. That's going to take a long period of time. So to get some estimates of how long that's going to require and how much staff time it's going to take. So it's always it's a great opportunity for council to see what planning is doing, realizing that what gets referred to them can also add to their work load, but also making sure that we're providing the best customer service to our residents and to those who do business with the city.
And so this planning division work plan is just that. It's a work plan of what they're planning to do over the year. They're presenting it to you, and like you said, so that council gets an idea of what they're already doing, and also what council refers to planning, because you guys do refer quite a bit to planning. Anyone that's been to a council meeting is very familiar with Kelly Diekman, our planning and housing director, because he's in front of you every single time, right?
Yeah, virtually every time. Yeah. And I think that is probably, if not the one department that gets the most referrals. It's at the very top of the list. And also part of that work plan gives some estimates from or by the department how many man hours are going to be required. And usually it's a range of an estimate to make sure that they're able to accomplish the task at hand with the available manpower and stay on schedule.
Okay, and so we will hear that work plan on Tuesday. What else is up on the agenda?
Well, this is may be popular, may not be popular, but under our police is our annual resolution authorizing enhanced penalties for nuisance party violations and or illegal towing of illegally parked vehicles at the Cyclone Welcome Weekend on Saturday, August 22nd. As some may be aware, a few years ago we had a burgeoning amount of parties, in particular around in the Campustown area, that were adversely affecting traffic flow in some of the blocks around in Campustown, and which can create a safety concern.
Right.
Secondly, is just nuisance parties where you have, I jokingly say, 500 of your best friends, coming
right.
over to enjoy a variety of different beverages and consumables, and so we want people to celebrate. We want students, as they return back, to enjoy being back in Ames, back at Iowa State. But it needs to be done in a responsible way so that it doesn't adversely affect both the safety of our residents, getting emergency vehicles through some of these narrow streets. If people are parked on both sides, make that very difficult, and or having parties that are disruptive to adjacent property owners who are complaining. And I will say this, is that with respect to the nuisance party violations, our law enforcement, and in partnership with Iowa State University, they go out in advance to explain, hey, we want you to enjoy yourself. We want you to have a safe celebration. But there are some ordinances in place, and just be aware of those. And I believe that there are warnings given, sometimes maybe a couple of warnings given. It depends on the circumstances. If it's it's an egregious violation, that may warrant a immediate citation. But I think that I know that our police department has been very pleased with the cooperation, and in fact, we're starting to hear of situations where people are hosting a party that they want to keep it within reason. It's getting out of control. They contact law enforcement and ask for help to try and get it, properly managed. So it's we don't relish issuing citations, nor do we relish towing illegally parked vehicles. But I think the message is getting across, and we'll continue to reach out to the residents in that area. And again, we thank the Iowa State University staff as well as their law enforcement department for their help in the partnership.
And then you did say that this is coming up to do this for a specific amount of time, that we're allowing the immediate towing of illegally parked vehicles, and we're doing this increased citations for nuisance parties. And for the past couple of years, we've been doing that, and we've been seeing that have a benefit in the way that it's working. But it's not something that you're voting on Tuesday. That's going to be for now and forever. We can do this whenever we want. Good
clarification. It is date specific. Right. So the enhanced penalties for nuisance parties begins at 5 p.m. on Friday, August 21st, and lapses at 4 a.m. on Sunday, August 23rd. And the immediate towing of illegally parked vehicles is for Saturday, August 22nd only. So you're right. It's not a blanket. It's date specific, and it also could be implemented for other events that might be coming up at the request of the police and at the discretion of councils making a decision. And so it's all basically circumstantial in what's happening in the community at that time. It's not something that we want to have going on all the time, but because we know that this is a weekend when students are returning to school, so they want to get together with their friends, we want to make sure that they are safe and responsible when they do so. Correct. And I would say on behalf of council, on behalf of the city of Ames, on behalf of the Ames Police Department, it would be wonderful to not tow one vehicle. Absolutely. Or to issue one citation, and we all have a great time celebrating the start of another academic year. And in fact, chief of police has told us that they always anticipate towing about maybe up to 100 illegally parked vehicles, and it's about a third of that typically, and it can vary from year to year. But point is that everyone needs to respect others' ability to enjoy living in our community.
Absolutely. And so as I'm looking down the agenda again, I see that one of the hearings is for paving Friel Drive. So, I mean, that is important, and I know why that's important because there's been a groundbreaking, but why is this an important thing for council to bring up?
Well, the first question people might ask is, where is Friel
Where
Drive?
is it even at?
And why did it even exist?
Yep.
And full disclosure, I also wondered where Friel Drive was a number of years ago. And it happens to be on the east side of our community. It's one block due west of Dayton Avenue. Mm-hmm. And it is in a more industrial area that has a variety of different businesses. And some people may recall that Friel Drive is where our previously used yard waste.
No charge yard waste days took place there.
Exactly.
Right?
And also you could go there during the year and pay to deposit yard waste. Friel Drive is the new address for our R3C facility, as you mentioned, just had groundbreaking, and construction will be fully underway. And this is a contract being awarded to pave a current gravel type surface, because we anticipate a significant increase in truck traffic in that area. And so I believe that the people who currently operate businesses will appreciate the fact that now we'll have more paving in that area, which will keep the dust down, and also during inclement weather, ensure that trucks can get to and from our R3C facility in a positive way.
And so the hearing for this then, that awards the contract, and so that everything can get started. Is that how that works?
That's correct. That's correct. It's being awarded to a local company, Construct of Ames, and it's a little less than $1 million for the project, but it's one that is honestly pretty much needed and will be an absolute benefit to that area as well as to the new R3C Center.
Absolutely, I think so. Okay, well, that's a quick look at a few of the 44 items. Well, 4 of those are proclamations, so 40 items on this upcoming City Council agenda. So keep in mind that this is based on the agenda as it stands right now. The agenda can be amended up to 24 hours before the meeting, so be sure to check out the latest version online at cityofames.org/citycouncil. The meeting starts this Tuesday, April 14th at 6 p.m., 5:30 p.m. if you want to attend the Ames Conference Board. So you can join us in person, or you can watch these online on our city's YouTube channel. Thank you, Mayor John Haila, for being here and helping keep us informed.
Thanks, Bill.
And stay tuned for after the meeting when Susan Guiazza catches up on what exactly happened. We'll see you then.
From Agenda to Action is a City of Ames podcast.